Well, hello to you all. Well, seeing as I can't do a lot of camping at the moment, I thought I'd broach another subject that I know a bit about, and that's four-wheel drives. The subject sort of crosses over because, you know, car camping, overlanding are all quite popular now. But, as the title said on the video, just because you've got a four-wheel drive doesn't mean it's an off-roader. So, I'm just going to go through a few points today, and I apologise in advance. I'm at work, I'm in the warehouse. Yes, the smoke alarms beep. There's always at least one that needs a battery. Try and ignore it. Now, my pickup, the Navara. Why is it not an off-road vehicle? It's got a four-wheel drive system that works pretty well. The truth of the matter is, it's the wrong shape. Let me show you around. I'm going to keep this quite simple, quite basic, and if there's the interest, I can go into more off-road related stuff in later videos. Now, as much as people will use these off-road, to be fair, it's a commercial vehicle. It's designed for builders to get on and off job sites where it could be a bit muddy and that sort of thing, stick all their tools and crap in the back, or a farming application, towing horse boxes on and off fields, something like that. True off-road, it's just not the right design. Starting at the front here, there's three important angles for off-road vehicles: approach, brake over or ramp over angle, and departure. At the front end here, you can see we're quite low. If you're driving forward, you come to a bank, a rock step, anything like that, this is going to get smashed straight away. The best shape for off-roading is something square with essentially a wheel on each extreme corner. Think early Land Rovers, the little Suzukis, things like that. If I was going to make this more capable, this bumper would have to go. I'd have to have an aftermarket metal off-road bumper, which is set further back in. So if you come up against something, you've got a better chance of your tyres reaching it and climbing it than burying the nose in the front. It's not disastrous, but you would soon wreck it in standard trim. Let's have a look at the middle. Right, in the middle, the ramp over or brake over angle, which is basically measured between front and rear tyre up to the centre here. This is way too low for several reasons. One, the suspension would need to be higher, but the main thing, the wheelbase, the distance, the measurement between the two wheels is too great. I don't know exactly on this, I've never bothered measuring it, but measure wheel centre to wheel centre, it's something like 120, 125 inches. That's way, way, way too long. To get away with that length, you'd have to have a massive suspension lift, massive tyres, and even then, it's still quite a gap. The risk of that, if you're driving over a hump, you end up belly down in the middle, you're like a seesaw, your tyres aren't doing anything. That just can't be changed. The vehicle is too long. You think of the very successful ones of the past, like the Land Rovers, the original proper Land Rovers, Defenders, 90-inch wheelbase. Early ones were 88. The little Suzukis, I think they're around about 88, 87. Short wheelbase, much more agile for climbing over things. There is an advantage to a longer wheelbase, and the only real advantage, they're less manoeuvrable, but climbing a steep rough climb, if you hit something on the way up, you're less likely to end up on your roof, or descending very, very steep, and you suddenly drop the front end into a rut or something, a longer wheelbase is less likely to roll forward. But there's limits. That's why Land Rover primarily did their 90 and their 110. You don't really want to be above 110. In my mind, the sweet spot, 100 inch. Think original Range Rovers, the square boxy ones when they were still off-roaders, Mark 1 Discoveries, both 100 inch. I think that's the Goldilocks zone really for wheelbase and giving you breakover angle. Right, looking at the back end or departure angle. This is far too long, very shallow angle from the lowest point, which is probably the tow hitch, from here. Just think about doing something like a river crossing, dropping off the bank. Your bum's going to get hung up and your back wheels are going to be off the floor, or at least very little weight on them. You're not going to get the traction. This can't really be altered, certainly on this vehicle. Being a commercial type vehicle, this is still on leaf springs, and let's have a look. The rear end of the spring hanger is about there. So even if you wanted to get really radical, get the angle grinder out, you can only lose this little bit. On some of the Land Rovers and things like that, they were on coil springs all round. So your spring was in the centre. You could effectively, if you wanted to, chop it off right here to have a much steeper angle and you not get hung up. This can't be modified. It can't be changed. That's just what it is. It's not an off-road vehicle. So, if you own something like this and you do want to make it more off-road capable, what can you do? Well, a lot of people's answer is, you know, suspension lift, bigger tyres and things like that. It'll help, but it won't change the basis that you're working with. Your overhangs will still be too long. It will increase the angle slightly by having the body higher. It will give you a little bit more clearance with bigger tyres, but it's not going to solve all the problems. You've got to start with the right base if you're going to make something truly capable of off-roading. Now, I've been doing off-road driving for, I don't know, 30 years or so, and I've run all manner of things from old Russian Lada Nivas to several different Suzukis, Mark 1 Discovery, what else we got? Mitsubishi Shogun, all manner of strange things really. But apart from the Shogun, they all had the same basic formula. They were a boxy vehicle, short overhangs, fairly short wheelbase. It's what you need if you're going to do the real rough, tough stuff. Yes, you can take things like this off-road, but be prepared for damage, be prepared to get stuck. Now, if there's enough interest in this video, I will make more. It will still be a camping channel, but I will pop up an off-roady type one every now and again. I can make a whole video about tyres, sizes, widths more importantly, and things like that. Tread patterns, should you go all-terrain, should you go mud-terrain, that sort of thing. I can make a whole video about suspension modifications, what you can do, some things that you can do and shouldn't do. It's up to you. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments. I'll do some work on it. Who knows? If the weather's decent and I've got the time and I feel okay, I might even take this old beastie off-road and maybe deliberately get it stuck. Then we could do something about self-recovery. I'll see you all soon, guys.